Hello. We're going to continue with the preliminary brush painting. So, so just to recap, let's say you have a brush starting out like this. That the startup is dried. The first thing you have to do is soak it in water. So go in here, for example. So let's say you just put it in the water. Make sure you can see the bubbles as I press down lightly. You can see the bubble coming out. As soon as all the bubbles are out, then you know it's completely wet. Then you're ready to go. You scrape off excessive water from here, and then you stroke the brush and just groom it into a nice pointy shape like this, and you're ready to go. At the same time, you're getting rid of the excess moisture. I should also point out that when you're finished, then you should also do the same process, groom it into a nice shape, and then you hang the brush using this loop onto something. Here, for example, here I could hang the brush onto this rack here in that manner. So, and then let it dry like this, and you would have good protection of the hair. Okay, so anyway, here we go. So we're ready to go, and we'll need to tell you how to. Let's first of all find out how one should hold the brush. So the Chinese way to hold the brush is use 3 fingers like this. So 1, 2, 3. Just grab them like this, and then these 2 fingers, you can kind of steady it like that, and then you're ready to draw. The reason for doing this is mostly because the brush works in the most controlled manner if you use it vertically. That means it contacts the paper more or less vertically. Okay, I think if you would the brush is not intended to contact the paper at an angle. Let's say you hold it like a pencil, and you contact the paper like an angle. Then after you use it for a while, the brush tip will get splayed out and doesn't work as well. So the way to hold it 3 fingers like this, then you can hold it vertically like that. All right. And that's that is the regular way of holding it. Of course, there are other ways to hold it, but let's just start out with this. Another thing important is that you will need an anchor point. So you can either put your wrist on the table, you anchor it like this, and then you can use your finger to draw all kinds of stuff. That's what that. In order to have control, the arm has to be anchored at some place. So you can either anchor it here when you're drawing something small like this. That you can't really do anything big when your wrist is stuck like this. If you are bigger, if you draw anything bigger, then you have to anchor it, let's say, over here near your forearm. In which case, then you can draw a line as long as you can draw a line as long as big as this. Okay, and then if you even anything even bigger, then you basically have to lift your whole arm and then draw something as big. All right. Now for now, we're doing relatively small stuff, so you want to anchor your. I think the best thing is to anchor your arm right around here on the edge of the table, and then you have quite a bit of freedom of motion. Hold it, hold the brush relatively just firm enough so that it doesn't fall off, but you're not squeezing the brush in some big way. And usually there is a bend in the wrist. Just remember this. If it's like you can't, when you hold like this, it's not. You don't have as much as well. You don't have as much control. All right, so you have to basically kind of bend your wrist, tightness, close up your palm like this, and so you turn it around like this, and then you can that is the default. Let me call this a default way of holding the brush. And because you're holding with 3 fingers, then you can actually turn the brush like this, and you can also turn the brush sideways like this by just a flip of the wrist. And then let's say if it's like this, then you can just go across like this, and then you can also just turn the brush like this, and you can go like that. Alright, so the beauty of the brush painting is that you have all these flexibility, and the brush is very pliable and gives you all kinds of good ways of doing it. It'll give you all kinds of good effects. Alright, so let's take a little bit of ink. Oops. Okay, so we just actually 1 drop is usually enough. So this came off 1 drop immediately. So what I should do is immediately get rid of this piece of ink here, so that it doesn't cause trouble later on. Actually, what I should do is this. Get rid of this immediately. Alright, so we're ready to go. Let's see now. Alright, so this is brush, right? Have a little bit of ink. So what I should do is right here. Let me put the dish over here, you can see better. You take the ink from the side like this. You don't want to be jabbing it in here like this. I take it on the side, so that is to preserve the pointy tip. Jabbing in there, you ruin the pointy tip. You could kind of groom it into better shape by dragging it on a dish like this. Alright, so then now we're ready to go, and then so you can just draw a line like this. Now you can just see, well, actually what happens is that the paper was wet because I previously was fooling around with it. So here you go. Let's see, this is so you can draw these lines here, and this is the bamboo leaf stroke. So there's a stroke to do a bamboo leaf. So there's a smooth enter, smooth approach, press down, and then a smooth withdrawal. So smooth press down and lift. So smooth press down and lift. So that's what we are supposed to be doing. And you can do it in different direction. Oh, this is bamboo thing. This is the bamboo leaf stroke. And then the other, so this is, you hold the brush vertically and go smoothly like this in different directions. Notice when I take the ink, I take it like this so it doesn't ruin the tip, dragging it on the dish like that. Alright, so that. And then if you want to do the bamboo stem, you go like this. You hold the brush at an angle. Now this is done with the brush as vertical as possible. This is you done it at an angle, and you contact. You might be this show it. So you contact the brush only. Maybe 1/3 of the brush hits the paper. I think you can probably see it, but let me do it sideways, on the side like this, so you might be able to see better. So you go like this. Alright, so the brush is at an angle to the paper. You are moving the brush in a direction perpendicular to the axis of the brush. Okay, and the stroke is push down, you go up, and then you kind of exit the stroke in this direction. Alright, so you can give that a shot. I would have another video that deals exclusively with the bamboo. So this is just preliminary to show you the stroke, how to hold the brush. Remember the holding the brush, 3 fingers like that, 2 fingers against it, right? And to take, let's say you wash the brush like this. Let's see. To control the water, you scrape off excess water from the side of the dish. Use a piece of paper towel to drag it like this, groom into a nice shape. At the same time the water is soaked into the paper towel. Now it has about the right amount of water. Then you actually it might probably too dry. Right at this point you dip the brush into the water for a fraction of a second. Now you're ready to go. Take ink here in this direction, and then you can go like that. Alright, give it a shot, and then when you've finished, you wash the brush, groom it into shape like before, and then you hang using the loop to dry. And you're transporting the brush. Let me point this out too. So it'd be nice to have these kind of bamboo sleeves. Then you can, let's say you have a whole bunch of brushes. Let's say you want to transport the brush without messing it up. You have this thing, and then you would just roll it up like this, tightly, and then use a rubber band perhaps to let me just do it like that. And your rubber band, hold it tightly. Then you can move it around without ruining the brush. At the end, you can just take it out. Take the brush, hang to dry. Okay, if you don't have one of these things, some bamboo mat, you can maybe just take a magazine, not a real thick magazine, a thin magazine, and you can just roll your brush up like that the same way, and then rubber band, and it would help put everything safely. Okay, thank you, and the next video would be about drawing the bamboo in a more complete manner.